Hey, Tea Monster here, in the flesh. Not a lot of it, but anyway. Moving swiftly on. We've had a slowdown in content on the YouTube channel. There's a variety of different reasons for that. We've had some housework done. Found out that the floor in the living room is gone. And, I mean, not gone, that would be a bit, the floor, dude. But no, I mean, it's rotten, because it's a 100-year-old house, not because I've been walking on it. But because it's a 100-year-old house, the floor's gone, we're going to get that done. So, living room, everything in the living room is residing now in the bedroom. And there's no room to swing a cat. We had to get the living room completely emptied. I'm going nuts, because I can't do anything. There's no modelling, there's no this, and that, there's where's this to do the other thing, oh, that's somewhere. So I'm quietly going crazy. So in this downtime, I mean, it's a temporary thing. I mean, we'll get the floor fixed and everything will go back to normal. I'll have a bit of studio space to be me. But until that time, it's kind of, it isn't. But it'll come back in a week or two. It'll be okay. I thought I'd use this time when everything's kind of on a down to ask you guys watching the channel and who subscribe to the channel, because somebody watches all my nonsense. Thank you, by the way. But I'm just checking to see what kind of things you guys like, because on my channel there's a wide range of things. I have a wide range of interests. I'm interested in Doctor Who, I'm interested in space, I'm interested in Pixar style films, Blender, CG, digital sculpting. I'm interested in all sorts of strange things, none of which seem to be particularly good bedfellows with the other. So while everything's on a down and everything's sort of like in stasis, I thought I'd reach out to you guys and find out who's watching my channel, why do you tune in, and what do you like to watch. And this is basically the thrust of this video, and why I'm appearing in person, which normally is like, oh God, look at that. But it is, as they say over the water, it is what it is. So, there's a few areas which I tend to concentrate in, so I'll go through those from the top and just let me know what you think. Okay, first of all is game modding. I've been modding games, usually old DOS 90s shooters, like Quake, Duke, Blood, Heretic, that sort of thing. And making high-res models as a replacement for the sprites. Recently, the community has pivoted away from that sort of thing, and they want voxels and AI upscales of the original textures. So what I'm doing tends to not be that much appreciated. I still do it because I enjoy it, but generally the Doom, Duke, and other communities have moved over to voxels, and a guy called Chilo does some amazing voxels. That is where everything's going as far as old game modding is concerned. Sprites, not really my thing. Nothing against them. They're just not my area of interest. I actually once offered to make some decent sprites for the Doom community, and they accused me of trying to destroy the Doom community. Yeah, it happened. I tried. There's a chance I'm going to probably step back from that. There's still a couple of things that I do a project with a guy called Kurikai from New Zealand, and we've been making a Doom model pack for a while. I'm currently working with the Duke Nukem Forever restoration project, which are trying to resurrect a leak of the 2001 version of Duke Nukem Forever. I'm working with that, but I might generally scale back game modding. as a general rule, because it's just not where everyone is, and I probably need to concentrate more on some other things I like, and that's really the first place it's probably going to go. So if you are here for the game mods and tutorials and stuff, let me know in the comments. Space. I love space. I have been interested in space for ages. My mum says it's because my head's full of it. When I was a wee lad, if you can imagine such a thing, my dad grabbed me out of my bedroom, marched me downstairs, sat me down in front of the TV, and I watched Neil Armstrong walk on the moon. I've been waiting 50 years for us to go to Mars, but that's that. So I've been interested in space. I've been doing videos on space. I actually did a video recently about what if someone had given Werner von Braun $40 billion back in the 1950s and said go to the moon. What would it look like if he'd actually built all the Collier's rockets and used them? I did one of those. I've done some other space videos. It's a big area of interest I've got. I know some of you are here for that. And again, like the gaming people, if it's what you're here for, let me know. At one point I thought of actually doing that as a career. There's a couple of space artists out there, and that was one thing I aspired to. I mean, I'm retired at the minute. So my general thought is I'm retired, I pay for my house, I just do what I want, basically. Originally, when I started to learn 3D, before that I was a 2D artist. I was a graphic designer, as they call them. Worked in newspapers. I've done scanner operator, advertising creator, typesetter is what they used to call them back in the way in the before times. Since then, I've moved over to 3D. I saw the stuff that came out from Pixar, the CG explosion in the 1990s, and that's what I wanted to be. I looked at that, I just loved it. Is that I've wanted to make my own films, like little Pixar films. And initially I thought, well, I don't know if that's going to be something I can actually do, because most animation houses are studios. And they're large studios, and they've got like whole teams who work on shaders, and there's a team that works on one character, a team that works on the other character, and altogether it takes them years and hours and hours and hours and hours of manpower to do this sort of thing. Back in the 2000s, there was a guy called Unpicked One, and there was also a guy called Jeff Liu. And they did their own like one-man band animated films, and they sort of basically proved to people of the world that you can actually do it yourself. I mean, now the technology has moved on to the point where loads of people do it, but back then it was kind of like it was a really special thing that you could actually devote enough time and effort to animate your own film with the technology that was available at the time. So anyway, having seen that, I decided I'm going to make my own film. And I've written a couple of stories, one featuring a potato with superpowers, and another one with a dog that goes to space and comes back, but not in the way that you would think. So there's been a number of little ideas for that. That was what I initially wanted to do, and why I got into 3D. I then got into 3D modeling, not animation and voice work and video editing, which is actually making models. And that kind of took over everything. I've been thinking more and more like I want to get back where I was originally trying to go, which was the animated films. And I've made a couple of them. I've made the Retro Space Odyssey. I've made a Dalek one based on an old 1990s VHS video production made with real models. In my living room, and like a little CG version of that. And there's two other films I've got plans to make, and I kept thinking, well, I should get back to that and do that, because that's where I originally was aiming for. I mean, another thing I could do is I did those backroom videos. they were well received. I had one that was like something. Hang on, let me have a quick look. Let's have a quick peek here and what we got. And it's something loopy. Yeah, it's 43,000 views. It's like, damn. But yeah, so that's very unlike much. I'm usually like 2,000 or 3,000 views for a video, something like that. A couple hundred, you know. I'm not a mainstream YouTuber by any chance, yet. But that was a bit of a shocker, and I think I just caught the wave at the right time, and I've got 200 subscribers, and I bet they're all sitting there thinking, when's the next one coming out? Well, I did make a next one, and it got 140. Not 140,000, just 140 views. So it was just kind of like, okay, so much for that. But I mean, it was fun to do little horror, creepypasta videos. There's a number of people on like Kane Pixels and EFU who sit there and do that sort of thing, and it looks like a lot of fun, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, I keep coming back to the fact that I want to make my own silly videos. And that's probably where I really want to concentrate on stuff on. What I'm basically boiling everything down to is, what do you guys want to see? Do you want me to ramble on and bounce here and bounce there and show you videos of game dev and backrooms? And I'm probably not going to do more backrooms videos, sorry. But I might be some of the creepypasta thing, depending what happens. Are you interested in that sort of stuff? The game tutorials and the other bits and pieces? I've just thought I'd ask.